in the previous video, we were given a bunch of solutions, and we plugged those numbers into the equation given separately, and we found out that the 1, 1, 0, and 4, these are two solutions, but the others are not. So now I'm going to copy these two solutions, 0, 4, and 1, 1, down here on this page. And so as we already talked about the coordinate system, and so we can, when we are given an ordered pair 0, 4, we can graph it in the coordinate system. We're going to get a point. So let's see, because x equals 0. In the first case, x equals 0. So we're going to find a 0 on the number line x. And then y equals 1. So we're going to put a 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to find 0, 4, which is right here. Since x is 0, we're not moving to the left or right, but y is 1, we're going to move up to number 4. And now the second solution we got was 1 and 1. So first of all, I'm going to put tick marks 1 here. And since x quantity is 1 and y quantity is also 1, so we move over 1 and up 1. So that gives us the second point. So again, this one is 1 and 1. This one is the point 0 and 4. And so these were the only two we were given, and we tested and found that they're both solutions. But if we want to find more solutions, what can we do? So what we notice that since we have two variables, we cannot really get solve to get a number. And what we if we only have one variable, and we can get the variable by itself and get a specific number for that variable. So this gives us the idea. Since they didn't really tell us what kind of numbers x can be or y can be, so we can actually pick a random number for x or for y. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to just pick pick a number for x. So since we already have the solutions for x equal to 1, x equal to 0, so I'm going to just pick, let's say, -1 here. So when I pick a -1 for x, I'm going to plug -1 into this equation. Since y, what's y? Y equals -3x plus 4. And x here, we selected, I just randomly picked -1, so I'm going to replace x with -1. And now we're going to be able to simplify this. -3 times -1, that's +3. +3 plus 4, that's 7. So we actually found out if we pick -1 for x, the corresponding y will be 7. As you can see, once you pick a number for x, y will be determined. So similarly, we can, if you want to pick a number for y, x will also be determined. So let's say if I pick, let's say pick 13 for y, and then in the equation y equals -3x plus 4. Since y is 13, I'm going to replace y with 13, and then I can get x by itself by solving for x. So I subtract 4 both sides, and 9 equals -3x, and I divide -3 both sides, so I'm going to get x equals -3. So as you can see that if you pick a number for one of the variables, you're going to be able to solve this equation and to get the number for the other variable. And it seems like this process is non-stopping because we have infinitely many numbers, real numbers, that we can pick for x. So not only just integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, or -1, -2, -3, we can also pick fractions like 1/2, 2/3, and decimals. And so we actually should be able to find any number we pick for x. We can pick any number, and we plug in for this x, we will be able to get a corresponding y. And then that will give us a solution. So apparently, since we can pick infinite many numbers for x, we should get infinite many y's. And every pair will form a solution. So we're going to be able to get infinite many solutions. And for each order pair, as you can see, I graphed the first two order pairs. I got these 2 points. So if I do the third one, it's -1, x is -1. You can see here I have -1, -1 and +7. So I'm going to have to go up 7 units. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to have another point, -1 and 7 here. And similarly, we can continue, -3. So we can also graph -3, 13, and so on. And we can, if it's possible, we can graph the infinite many solutions with infinite many points. And these infinite many points, if we join them, so let's join, here I only have 3 points, but you can pick some more. You will be able to see all these points are going to be on this straight line. We can extend in both directions. Sorry, this is a little tilted, so it should be a straight line. So this straight line is the graph for this algebraic expression. So this is a algebraic expression with x and y in there. But after we pick numbers for x and solve for y, we got infinite many ordered pairs, and we cannot graph infinite many points, but we graphed a few of them, and we realize if I connect all these points, I end up with a straight line. So that this line is the graph of this equation, and this equation can describe the line. So previously, we talked about a point in geometry. So in geometry, when you have a point, and in algebra, we can describe this point as a ordered pair x and y. Now in geometry, when we have straight lines, we can describe it with an equation y equals something times x plus something. So in this case, for example, it's -3 times x plus y. So those numbers, these numbers could be different, but they are going to have this kind of format, something times x plus something. So so that's why we are saying the coordinate system really connects these two subjects. So again, a point becomes an ordered pair. An ordered pair is a point in geometry. An equation is a line, and the line is an equation. So in general, how do we graph an equation? From the process we just did, we can see if we were given an equation with x and y in there, and what we can do is we can always pick a number for x and solve for y. And that way we can get a lot of ordered pairs. And then we come back to the xy coordinate system and we plot those points, ordered pairs as points, and then we join them. And nowadays we have computers that can help us, or graphing calculators that can help us do that process. But if we do it by hand, so we first will pick some numbers and solve for y. And notice since this is verified as this type of equation is verified as a straight line. So when we have two variables and both x and y have exponent 1, there's nothing that means exponent are equal to 1. And the graph must be a straight line. If we already know the graph is going to be a straight line, and we don't really have to pick these many ordered pairs. So we only need 2, that would be enough, because a straight line is determined by 2 points. So we don't really need all of these, pick these many. So the first 2 will be enough. So 0, 4, let's say 0, 4 is here. And then 1 is here. So we can just join them and join 0 and 4 and 1 1 to get line segments. If you have a ruler, join these 2 points using your ruler, and then extend in both directions, because we do have infinite many solutions. So we got the graph for the line. And there are other ways we can do the graphing if you after we learn slope. But now, in general, for any equation, we can always pick a number for x and solve for y, so we can get points and graph it. So step 1, make a chart and pick some numbers for x, solve for y. And step 2, and we plot all the points in the coordinate system. For a straight line, we only need 2 points, and then join them and then extend. So we got the graph.